Hello and welcome to another Season of War Battle Report. We're coming back at you today with a rematch of the Nighthaunt versus Sylvaneth.
Yep.
The ghosts are looking for vengeance. They lost a narrow one last time.
Mainly on the back of the extra points for monsters and focal points. But
Yes, so no bonus points this time.
Yeah.
It's an honest, well, semi-honest mission. You're a little disadvantaged having to stay so far away. Why don't you explain what mission we're running today?
For sure. So, as you said, this is a weirder mission, and it's weirder in the fact that it's strange deployment. Now, the mission we're playing is Escalation from the Core Rulebook. So, not one you typically see lately with all the awesome GHB ones, but still fun to throw back to some of these sometimes. But there's just 3 objectives across the middle, super spread out edge to edge. So really it makes us play the whole board. But you only score 1 point for each of those, and you can only score from round 2 onwards. But otherwise, it's just 1 point. So going to be relatively low scoring, no bonus points as you said. But the big hang-up for this mission is the weird staggered deployment. Now, battle line can deploy within 9 inches of the center line, where monsters and behemoths have to deploy 24 inches back from that line. Everything else, so your normal heroes and other units, are also 18 inches back from that center line. So really it's just your battle line that can be kind of up front. The biggest impact is on my 2 monsters, who are also heroes. While I could have left them off the board and teleported them into the Wildwoods, they're spellcasters. And especially with Dreich's ability, I want them on the table at the start of the game so I can use all their different tools. So they're going to be a little slow getting up to the fight, but I'm sure the battle will kind of ramp up as we get going. And then the realm we're playing in today is Shyish, so not a very impactful realm. The spell is to give your other casters +1 to cast only endless spells. All the terrain is nullification, so we will get extra unbinds if our heroes are near terrain. Neither of us are running endless
spells. If your heroes were in range of mine.
one day, turn 3 onwards. And then the command ability is just a 6-up, feel no pain.
As always, all of the terrain is from Printable Scenery, our partner. Slaving away on the new Dwarven Fortress board that you all chose, so that should be out.
I think the next Spat Reps we'll be recording.
Okay.
Are going to be on that new terrain set, some of them.
So shortly. And then our next goal is a new channel army.
Yeah, so as you said, our premium members are helping us kind of grow and evolve the channel and, add new tricks, make upgrades, whether it's tables. We have audio equipment on the way for an audio upgrade. And like you said, the next one is a new channel army. So we have a good range of new armies that we are going to be working on. But the first one the first one that's going to hit the table is definitely going to be voted on by our premium members. They'll get to kind of choose what army they want to see out first. So we'll have a number of kind of armies up for the vote, ranging from Slaanesh, Daughters of Cain, Stormcast, Cities of Sigmar. You actually just bought
a whole Demon Zinch army the other day from X Planet.
So shout out to X Planet again, kind of our local game store. Especially during this time, always important to support your local game store. So we have a number of armies ready to go, ready to build. Just kind of waiting for that vote and getting some other projects done to see which one our premium members vote on and want to see first.
So why don't you run me through your list today?
Awesome. So I've talked about this kind of a list before. I'm running Sylvaneth without a glade, so no sub-faction, which means I don't get, obviously.
I'm also running Nighthaunt with no sub-faction.
Oh, look at that. Well, I need my sub-factions, but there are other tools I can get not running a sub-faction. The main one in this, outside of getting to choose my artifacts, I have a command trait that I get to choose, being Warsinger on my Arch Revenant, who is my general, which gives him a 12-inch aura of +2 to charge. Overall, I have 3 units of Spite Revenants in the Outcast Battalion. Again, that extra artifact command point, always useful. I have a unit of 20 Dryads who are going to stick near that Wildwood for -1 hit, and that Wildwood is going to be my immune to battle shock terrain piece. And then I have 2 units of Tree Revenants just for teleporting, always trying to make you play a little honest. And
no backfield objectives.
It's going to be just a fight in the middle here, which is going to be fun once we get to the middle. Otherwise, I have Dreicha, Tree Lord Ancient. Then I have a Branch Wraith with the Throne of Vines spell, and my second artifact, Spirit Song Stave, so she's 2-cast wizard, gets to buff her casting ability, then just spam out Dryads, hopefully throughout the game. And then off the board I have, again, my Archer Revenant, a unit of 3 Karnath Hunters with swords, and a unit of 6 Karnath Hunters with scythes. That's it for me.
All right, so I am running a battalion again. Got the unit of 40 chain rafts and the unit of 20 chain rafts, along with the Spirit Torment and 2 chain gas, all in the Condemned battalion. So that lets any of the 2 units of chain rafts reroll all hits while they're wholly within 15 of either the chain gas or the Spirit Torment.
Yep.
Pretty good. Then I've got a Mourngul hiding off in the underworlds. 10 Bladegeist Revenants, 10 more Bladegeist Revenants, a unit of 10 Chain Rafts, and a unit of 4 Glaive Wraiths. And I've got the teleporting Dreadblade Harrow as my general, as always.
Yeah.
Knight of Shrouds, +1 attack is pretty awesome. I've got another Spirit Torment. He is running the artifact that gives +3 to move to everything within 12 inches. Pretty good. And then the Guardians of Souls, got the artifact for +1 cast from my battalion, extra artifact. And then he'll be hopefully bringing back models.
Yeah. So we're trying to do a bunch of the same things, I think.
So as always, we've picked secondaries or auxiliaries, as they call them now. What do you got for your 2?
Yeah, so I chose Assassinate as my first one. Now, that's to kill one of your heroes, and you choose which hero that is.
All right, so I'll pick the Spirit Torment as your target. So that's your first one?
Yeah, and then my second one is March for Death. In this case, you have to choose one of your units, and I have to kill that.
Okay.
Obviously, we know I can't kill 40 Chain Rasps.
Yes. I feel like that's the safest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be the 40 Chain Rasps.
Cool. All right, those are my 2.
All right. So for my first one, I picked Invader. I need to have more units in your territory than you have in mine at the end of the game. And since we really have no reason to go in either person's territory, we'll see what happens. Like, you could teleport something into mine, I could teleport something into yours. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. And then my other one is Pillage. I have to have 5 or more wounds, or a unit worth 5 or more wounds within 3 inches of a terrain piece at the end of a battle round, not a turn, a battle round. And I'm going to pick this front and center.
Yep. Wildwood.
Yep.
Yeah. I might guess that. I might see 40 Chain Rasps running up in there on that objective pretty quick. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good.
And I outdropped you because I had the battalion. Oh, well, we both had a battalion, but I was
9 drops to 10. Yeah.
So I will actually choose to go first in this case.
Cool. Sounds good.
So we will head into turn 1 of Nighthaunt going first.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, so end of Nighthaunt turn 1. There's a bunch of extra stuff that showed up out of nowhere.
Yep.
And everything moved forward because there's no point in standing at the back. with all the objectives being in the middle.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely taking board control.
and that was what I was hoping to do. I don't usually take first, but in this instance where all your Kurnoths are off the board, I felt like I could zone you out of this one. You're going to have to set up a woods in the back somewhere and,
Definitely controls the board, limits my options.
Kurnoths being further away from me is a good thing. And then I put some chain rest over there to control that objective, even though I can't score points. I felt like I could just sort of zone you out from getting to it. Drop the Morn Gold down. He's providing the -1 hit aura. So if you go into the chain rasps, you're going to be -1 hit.
Yeah, I hate that -1 hit aura.
2 units of Blade Geist are here. If you send something in, they're going to retreat and charge into you. And then all my heroes are clustered up in the middle. Just doing hero-y things. Got a 10 chain rasps still hiding in the back. There was no point in moving on to the objective, giving you an easier charge because I couldn't control it, or couldn't score it anyways.
Yeah.
And then I got the Glaive Wraiths hiding over there doing the same. So yeah, we'll go into your turn with me having scored 0 points, but having taken a lot of board presence.
Yes, sir. All right. All right, finishing up Sylvaneth turn 1. So Dryads were in front, sitting on the terrain. I threw them in. They're buffed up with. I did +1 attack for command ability from the Archer Revenant who teleported in, and then they're -1 hit from the Wildwood, +1 save because they're over 10 models. And Dryads did exactly what they're good at, which is absolutely nothing. So they killed 4 Chain Rasps, lost 9 Dryads in return. So just slapping away, not much happening there. The bright spot here, Dryads actually moved up with her shooting, got 6 wounds on the Morgul, which is awesome. But at the end of the round, you healed 4 of it, so largely irrelevant.
The 2 Spirit Torments being up in my cluster of everything. I killed at least 6 models of you, so both of them got to activate their ability, and they both picked the Morgul and put back 2 wounds apiece.
Obviously, taking the board control, hemming me into my backfield is punishing to a degree, and the fact that I could have even brought down these 6 guys in behind here too, potentially, but then nothing to charge really. So not the greatest spot to be in. But I guess we'll jump into priority and see where we go from here.
All right.
Let's trot.
2.
That's a 2. You and ties.
Oh my. So we will go into round 2, top of the round, Nighthaunt going first.
Sounds good.
right, so top of round 2, with Nighthaunt going first. Moved on to the 2 objectives. So I'm scoring all 3 this turn. So this Chain Rasp unit finished off the Dryads with some help with the Morngul. I didn't want to send the Morngul in because now he's a lame duck sitting out waiting to be killed. But I couldn't get into combat with them without charging, and because the Chain Rasp were in his way, the only way for him to charge was on the other side.
Yeah. He has full health again now, though. So
yes. So
I have to invest a lot more. I can't just shoot him off with the rest of Dreich's attacks.
So now I'm fully zoning out this terrain piece, I think. Jordan definitely won't be able to bring anything down near it. He'll definitely have to bring another woods on if he wants to summon down his 6 Kurnots who are still off the board. I forgot to mention last round that at the end of the round I would have scored my auxiliary for pillage because I had a unit near this Wildwoods, which was the terrain piece I picked. I think that's pretty much it for my turn. Got some objectives to try and claw back and not much board presence to do it.
We'll do our best with that. Sylvaneth turn 2 coming up. All right, so Sylvaneth turn 2. While I didn't score any points here, not being able to take any objectives, was a decently successful turn. 550 points of Sylvaneth, managed to kill the Morgul at half their value, so that's a win for Sylvaneth, being that these 3 units had to team up on the Morgul to take him out. So that's as much as you can expect. Though Dredger was a bright, shining star to this round, she shot off your little hero, who was the auxiliary objective, so I do store that auxiliary objective, which is big. And then I was asking a lot of her, sending her into the 10 blade dice on her own. She wouldn't have been taking much damage back, but she did get to attack first, just in the order of priority, and killed all 10. So was really happy with her there. And actually, one thing you wouldn't have noticed on camera is I spent about 15 minutes trying to summon a Wildwood, looking at fitting that old base. I prefer the old bases because they're just easier to play on for the most part. And they're not even easy to play on. They're annoying to play on, but they're better. Yeah. That didn't fit. And then I went and got my new Wildwoods that I have that I never play with because I hate them. And I'm like trying to, manipulate the different sizes because there's 3 different bases and they're all different shapes. So I'm trying to figure out a way to fit them in here, a way to fit them in here. After 15 minutes, I couldn't fit them in anywhere. So just obviously had to scrap that idea. And then not a great casting turn for me, failing a bunch of my spells, besides my +2 to cast, but that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
So would have liked to have the Wildwood so I could bring out my other 6 Turnoff, bring my Arch Revenant over for the +2 to charge, let them get into something, just help out. But not having gotten that kind of plan going through, I'm a little bit more reliant on the double turn here to actually take some of your points and restrict what you're able to do. Because if you do get priority here, you'll be able to consolidate a little more, and it'll be an even tougher time for me to claw off. And I am already down 3 points. But I killed a Morndrol, 10 blade dice, and 3 chain rasps. So
you killed 6 chain rasps. I got 3 back.
Okay, yeah. So about as much as I could hope for on that turn, and we'll just jump into priority.
1.
6. Let's go Sylvaneth. All right.
So we'll be going into round 3 with Sylvaneth going first.
For sure. So finishing up Sylvaneth turn 3, I was able to do a couple things here this turn, but not necessarily what I wanted. My hope was actually to hit both the outside objectives. But again, based on Wildwood's terrain, all the restrictions, I couldn't get a Wildwood over here as well as one over there. So I basically had to choose, that side in the end. I also brought one down here just so I could start summoning 10 Dryads, because otherwise my Branch Wraith is stacking pluses to cast for no reason. So I would have loved to hit this one. I could have easily taken this one just by running my Tree Revenants on it. No problem there, right? But they would have only held it one round. It's your turn next, so they would have just been dead. It's not worth the 1 point. I need them for the bodies and teleporting as long as I possibly can. So that kind of forced me to hit the middle objective again, which is largely pointless to try and kill your bodies. So I kind of avoided doing that and went for your heroes, trying to limit your utility. Now my unit of 6 Turtle Hunters, I buffed them up with +1 attack, but I only did 5 damage, largely on the back of your Ethereal, right? Coming in huge. I have 2 Rend. When you ignore all my Rend, it hurts so much. So I only did 5 damage to 1 hero, and then only managed to kill him because of the Mortal Wound Trample, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I did take that objective. So I do score 1 point, but being that this was on the back of my double turn, and I could take a double turn back now, it's still not a good position, right? Because of the board presence you have with, kind of the Horde style, I really don't have the places to summon the Wildwoods I need. So it's so hard for me to even try and hit this objective in the future. And now a lot of my stuff is kind of caught in the middle. So I'm going to be, taking some hits, but at least I'll be rerolling saves for my turn off. So hopefully I'll be able to kind of stand tall there. Hold on to my 1 objective in the corner.
So going into Nighthaunt turn 3, bottom of round 3.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so Nighthaunt turn 3, bottom of round 3. The Blade guys charged in, killed a couple of Kurnoth, or no, 1 Kurnoth.
Nearly 2.
And 3/4 of the next Kurnoth. Yeah. The Chain Wraths piled in and did 6 wounds to Drycha. And that's pretty much all she wrote. I could have got the Spirit of Torment in, but I decided not to. And in hindsight, that looks foolish. Because that 1 wound on that Kurnoth could be the difference between bringing 1 back if you win the turn or not.
But I can't bring them back until the following turn. So it would be like, because I'm not in range right now.
Oh,
so I have to teleport,
Gotcha.
then bring it back. So
It's not anyone who can do that?
It's just the Tree Lord.
Gotcha, okay. Not as impactful then. So yeah, I'll score 2 more points, so puts me up 5-1 with Jordan sort of clinging to the hope that he might be able to take some objectives back, but...
It's a pretty small hope. There's like 1 in 10 chance if I win priority that I could maybe make a game of it, at least try and play for auxiliaries.
Mm-hmm.
But if you win priority here, you can pretty much wrap up those 3 units there.
Yeah, I'll kill Dryjaw, I'll kill the Arch Revenant, I'll kill the...
And then I have no chance at the at my auxiliaries, which is my second one's to kill them, and then trying to deny you, over here. If I win priority, I have more units that can dance around and try and end up in your backfield to restrict you from that one, or that one auxiliary. But if you get priority here, you can kill 3 units. I have maybe 4 that can dance back there. You can easily put more than 4 in my zone.
So that being said,
let's do it.
This is a pivotal dice roll.
A 3.
6. I'll take it.
Okay.
So going into top of round 4 with Nighthaunt going first.
All right.
So yeah, I cleared off pretty much Jordan's hopes and dreams.
Yeah. Last chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Because at this point I'm up 7 points to 1. He would need to score all 3 for his next 2 turns, which just isn't possible.
Yeah, just isn't possible. And then looking at the auxiliaries, I've already stored Assassinate.
Yep.
At this point, I don't really have a chance to store March for Death, which is finishing off this Chain Rasp unit. My only other hope was to deny you Invader, but I can get 3, 4, 5 units potentially in your zone, but if you just put everything in mine, it doesn't even,
Yeah, I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in your zone.
So you can easily, again, if you just moved all your units on my side and then moved all my units on your side, you would still get that one. So big win for the Nighthaunt here.
Yeah, being able to take first and just zone you out of your trees because you had 9 Kurnoth off the board, like just denying them getting on till what, turn 3?
Now I could have brought them in, but I'm bringing them in a suboptimal position, right?
Yeah.
Your board control, in conjunction with the terrain, meant I just couldn't bring down Wildwoods in any useful position, which is a big downside of Sylvaneth, right? You take them to an event, you show up to a game, you might just not be able to play the game. And with you, obviously, the Horde lets you really deny me any space to bring down my Wildwoods. Now, I got a couple down, a little later, but again, suboptimal positions. Trying to fight for an objective that I have no chance of taking, but I might as well do something with my units, right?
Yeah.
And then even when they did come down, my big unit of 6 Kurnoth Hunters with sides really whiffed.
Just then blunted by the Ethereal, really.
Blunted by the Ethereal. Lost 2 to Battle Shock, and then the other 2 just, obviously died on your turn.
Yeah.
So a painful one for Sylvaneth. Just kind of never really able to get started. But just talking about my list, Warsinger obviously here was super useful. Now, again, didn't really get to do it where I needed to, but even, throwing him down there.
Being able to retreat out and still use it.
12 inches, that aura, he flies, so he just retreated out. Yeah, I got that bubble. made my charges back there to take that objective reliable. My charges in here, I didn't even actually need to do any rerolls with that +2. So that's like hugely impactful command trait. I loved that one before the new book, but that obviously is a strength in terms of giving us some reliability. I can dance between the woods if I get them in good positions.
Yep.
To, you know, move a unit, charge it, bounce somewhere else, teleport another unit, or, you know, relocate another unit. It gives some of that versatility, but here against the Horde, you were just able to zone me out too well.
And then Nighthaunt did what Nighthaunt does and brought back a bunch of bodies and
Was it resilient?
swarmed the board.
Yeah, more resilient this time than last. Obviously, I didn't put the Sitch Taroth into your Chain Grasp, but obviously, I can't do,
went in with.
and I can't do the plus, 2 attacks that I was doing the last time. Again, that was sub-faction specific.
Oh, to have sub-factions.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Now, that said, if I took the turn here, I could teleport my Tree Revenants over here, charge them in, potentially take this objective for a turn or 2, if I win priority going into 5, right?
Yep.
But even at that point, there's just no chance for me to store enough points to make up the deficit. Just not able to chew through the Hordes. Again, Ethereal being so huge in this matchup where I have amazing rend, but it's all for naught. Even Drycha, how many attacks into the Chain Rasp with her 2 rend? They were making their 5-up saves, so she was doing nothing. So definitely a tough one, and didn't have the volume of attacks in this match. But a good solid win for Nighthaunt, so the Ghosty boys are happy with this one.
Redemption from last game.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So our premium members are going to have to give me a different matchup next time when I bring those trees out.
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. As always, make sure to subscribe, like, hit whatever buttons you need to get us more eyeballs. The
Always
channel
a big
can
help.
keep growing. Yeah. Make sure you vote on the matchups if you're a subscriber, and vote for the upcoming army choice when we hit that next goal.
Yes, sir. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
Cheers.